Hello and welcome to another episode of the K Wellness Diaries with me, your host, Laura McCluckey. I'm super excited today because I have a very special guest who is from Korea but currently in Singapore. Hi, so nice to see you.
Hello, Laura. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, it's my pleasure and honor.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, hello from Singapore now.
I know, you're so lucky. Oh my goodness. So why don't you introduce yourself to all our listeners and viewers and tell us who you are and tell us a bit about what you do, Tong Yu.
Okay. So I'm a mindfulness meditation trainer, instructor, and I'm also leading a mindfulness meditation app company called Mabu. That is the first mindfulness meditation app in Korea. And we have been like, time flies so fast. It has been almost like 5 years. Yeah, 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yes.
Time does fly. And the thing is, time flies faster when you're super busy, and you are incredibly busy.
That's true. Very ironic because I'm running this mindfulness meditation company, and it's really hard for me to be mindful when you run a company. But it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, I mean, you're doing lots of things in the wellness sphere, in the mindfulness sphere specifically, but what got you into that? What brought you to mindfulness? What brought you to meditation?
Actually, it started from kind of academic interest. So back then, it was actually 2012. I first knew about mindfulness at the time, and it was through the book called "Search Inside Yourself." And before, I was a business consultant. I was working as specifically for organizations which needed kind of like a HR organizational kind of support. And while I was working as a organizational development consultant, my main interest was how I can help like employees, like organizational staffs, like by really motivating them and by making them really happy, and eventually like helping companies having more like performance, right? That was my kind of key like interest. But yeah, during I worked as a consultant, what I actually found out was it was really difficult like to meet both like individual happiness and organizational success, right?
Yeah.
So why it seems always kind of contradictory, right? So it was my kind of question. So I decided to go to PhD course, majoring in organizational psychology. And actually in that course, I found out this book, Search Inside Yourself. That book was written by the previous Google engineer, Chad Menton. And in that book, he actually showed me how happy happy employee actually can contribute the company, and it actually leads to the higher performance. So it was really interesting. Mindfulness and like actually leads one individual's happiness, and it also can boost like organizational performance.
Yeah.
And it started from there. Yeah, but later I found out mindfulness, wow, it is actually really the bigger term. It's not only about happiness or performance. It's much bigger, and actually it changed my life. So after I experienced that, I actually decided, oh, okay, this is something bigger, and I want to do something, to actually spread mindfulness to more people, especially Korean people.
I mean, when you say, and I know we've talked about this before, when you say mindfulness changed my life, I mean, I'm right there with you. And my daily mindfulness practice is something that keeps me sane. It keeps me from, from feeling the negative effects of stress. It allows me to stay in a mindset where I know that the next moment isn't going to be the same as the last, and that I can, sit with discomfort because I know it will change. And I think especially, you said it's surprising for you. It was the first time you'd heard that mindfulness and, office performance and organizations can be combined. And in Korean culture, it's very much like get in, work hard, and get home. And it's not really a mindfulness nurturing environment. And so I completely agree with you. And I'm so glad that you created Mabo, because I've listened to it myself, I've used it myself, but I bought it for my staff. And I also, shared it with so many of my Korean colleagues, because it's such a fantastic, useful tool for people to just get that little bit of respite. It's just so important to be able to feel that freedom, to feel that relaxation. So can you tell us about Mabo? You are the CEO of Mabo. You're a very busy and important businesswoman, and you're in the media all the time. Tell us, what is Mabo? And just introduce it for us a little bit.
So yeah, thank you for saying that. Like Mabo is the first mindfulness meditation app, and when actually I decided to make Mabo, it was not from the kind of like a very kind of concrete business plan. It was just from my spontaneity. What's the word in English?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. Because by that time, I was leading a mindfulness meditation, just small meetup at Google Campus. Google Campus is a place where Google Korea made for startup scene in Korea. And I had led a small meditation group there. And after just the group, one guy just came, and then he asked, "Oh, can I record your voice like while you are leading a meditation?" So I was like, "Oh, why?" And he said, "Oh, I wanna practice meditation at home." Back then there were so many English meditation apps still, but there was no Korean app. So he said, "Yeah, it's so difficult for me to practice meditation in English. So I wanna record your voice." And I actually thought, oh yeah, I had similar requests from many other people around me. So I was quite interested. Yeah, he's like in his request, and he said, "Oh, I'm a amateur engineer. So if you let me, I can make a kind of like a basic app, and then we can use it, right?" So that project just started from there. Yeah, really spontaneously. And later I realized actually it can do more for more people. So I hired professional engineer, and we kind of became a small team. And since then, Mabo has grown really organically. So I didn't spend much marketing money there, because I believe that mindfulness meditation is not something you can actually force and you can promote. It's just something that, how can I say, like a kind of wave. That's how I how I actually explain. It's a kind of wave. You cannot make wave, right? On the ocean, you cannot make wave, but the wave just comes, right? So Mabo has waited for the wave until Korean people have higher level of understanding what mindfulness is and why we need that. And I think from the kind of 2 or 3 years ago, there have been more mindfulness meditation app in Korea, and even English meditations apps launched their apps in Korean. So I think now we are kind of on the wave. Yeah, what do you think? Like, it's actually, you are also expert in this area. What do you think?
Well, I would agree with you. And I was having a conversation with my colleague recently, and he said mindfulness apps are rubbish and they do nothing and they don't help anyone. And I was like, what? So
Interesting.
I know,
Yeah.
right? And I completely disagreed with them, because for me, even though I have my own practice, I like being able to go to a mindfulness app if I'm tired, and then I can just listen and be led into something else. And I think, Mabo has given that opportunity to so many people, because like you said, you've got Headspace, which is huge. You've got Insight Timer, which is one that I regularly use. I really love that. It's so much.
Oh yeah, I like Insight Timer too. Yeah.
But even when I was on Insight Timer and I was finding, I like the Korean temple sounds and everything. So there's a lot of meditations I follow over there, Korean style meditation. But even some of the Korean meditations were just not, they were takdake. Do you know what I mean? They weren't like this kind of soothing and approachable and relaxing voice. So yeah, I think Mabo got in there early, which is, the best thing, because now the sun is rising on mindfulness apps in Korea, and Mabo's already in there and completely established. And I think, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was it is the advantage as a first mover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of agree, like, with the guy who mentioned you about that, like mindfulness app can be completely like a rubbish, because I now kind of concerned a little bit about this booming, because there are many apps like claiming that like we are meditation apps, but there are many apps just like they are just relaxation apps.
Yeah.
So people actually kind of confused with relaxation and meditation.
Yeah.
Especially relaxation and mindfulness meditation. So mindfulness meditation is a kind of whole different thing. It's not only about relaxation. Relaxation is just like just one small advantage when you meditate, right?
And sometimes it's not relaxing whatsoever. If you're being mindful on something that is very stressful, like I had a big anxiety wave the other day, and I was like, okay, you got to push into this, because this is, get your mindfulness in here, Laura, come on. And it was just so uncomfortable and so stressful. But being mindful about it is a way to very quickly not resolve the situation, but allow yourself that space of mind to realize, okay, this is just a happening. It's fine. You can move on. But even then, but yeah, I completely agree with you. And there's so many, because of course, mindfulness became a buzzword, right?
Right.
So everyone's like, oh, this is mindfulness. Oh, I'm mindful.
That's true. That's true. And I'm so happy that actually you brought up. Yeah, because so many students and so many Mabo users actually kind of send me these questions. Oh, actually, I started meditation because I was so depressed. But after meditating, like I didn't get better. Something like that. So I'm telling them, okay, first, like your intention, like, oh, if I do meditate, this kind of uncomfortable feelings will fade away or go away. Actually, that is not true, right? As you said, right? And sometimes mindfulness meditation, as you said, it can be very painful. So that's why actually you need to take a courage.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big factor. Take courage. And the second one is actually that's why you need a actually good kind of guide. I don't want to say as a teacher. Teacher, that word actually can be misinterpreted in this era, but kind of guide. You need a guide, good guide, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of people out there that are not very good guides. And I mean, that's one of the things that whenever, because I do a lot of in Korean actually, so my team do a lot of online mindfulness classes, and they say, listen, this is what mindfulness is. There's lots of definitions, but this is what we usually say. But this is what mindfulness isn't. So it's not a cure-all. It's not a panacea. It's not religious. It's not a way to blank the mind. You know, it's not a way to stop feeling pain, because people are often really confused. They're like, oh, like you said, you know, I'm started meditating because I'm depressed, but nothing happened. It's like, well, yeah, you got to look at what you're doing and how you're doing it. I think that's
true.
That's a difficult thing. But I think that's par for the course with most industries, right? You get people who are in it for the right reasons, and then you get people who are in it for maybe not so right reasons.
That's true.
Unfortunately. So we could talk for hours, I'm sure, but I'm very conscious of not wanting to take up too much of your time. However, we've still got lots of questions, so let's get on with it.
Okay.
You're definitely one of the pioneers of modern mindfulness in Korea, because you know, mindfulness has gone way back, and especially in Korea and in Asia, you know, mindfulness meditation, it's been going on for thousands of years. If we look at modern mindfulness, I mean, this is, you know, of course, Jon Kabat-Zinn was the kind of father of modern mindfulness, but you're definitely one of, if not the pioneer of modern mindfulness here in Korea. So why do you think that Korea needs mindfulness? And I mean, an extension of that, other wellness-based modalities and wellness-based contents?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think it's only Korean. Yeah. This kind of like people living in this modern age, we all need mindfulness. We all need mindfulness meditation training. We really need to train our mind. But if I should ask like answer this question, I mainly like answer like this. So because Korea is really kind of digitalized, right? Korea is one of the company like having leading IT, and everyone is using that, right? And quite interesting. I don't know whether you have watched it, that Netflix documentary by Tristan Harris.
Social Dilemma.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, you can see that like how this like modern technology actually manipulates our brain, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, Korean people really deep inside, we suffer because we are so getting used to this modern technology, and we are so kind of addicted to have this kind of lifestyle, really competitive, really busy, really fast, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I think nowadays Korean people need kind of seek for something make their mind peaceful. But I'm a little bit concerned about that too, because sometimes, as you said, like they think that mindfulness meditation as something like a panacea, or something make your what's the English term, make you feel like a really peaceful, that drug, right? Kind of drug, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, to just kind of make you feel super chilled. Yeah,
that's true, but it's not really like that, right? So we need to be really careful about how to promote mindfulness meditation. So nowadays, actually in Mabu, through Mabu, what I try to do is like I'm telling Mabu users, mindfulness is not like making you feel always like peaceful.
Yeah,
it's more like it helps you to confront the reality, right? And sometimes it can be painful, but through mindfulness meditation, you can grow your wisdom, and more importantly, with wisdom and compassion. Compassion is the biggest thing that you can grow from mindfulness meditation practice. So with this two, wisdom and compassion, we become a person who don't really think about always myself, right? And who can actually contribute bigger thing to other people. And in that process, we become happier.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, it's funny because mindfulness, the purpose of mindfulness isn't to be happy, but it's a huge side effect if you practice regularly, consistently, and you practice properly. But you know, if your intentions are in there and you're very good at showing up for yourself, then yeah, happiness is a huge side effect because you experience joy in everything because the world opens up. The world opens up to all these wonderful experiences, and the sad things aren't as, I mean, they're still as sad, but you're able to be more resilient to withstand them. And I think I completely agree with you, June. Like, compassion is so important. Compassion for other people, compassion for yourself. And that's another thing that people often talk about when they're talking about training in mindfulness. They're like, oh, I'm not doing it properly. Oh, I can't do it. And they're so harsh to themselves. And I think that's one of the kind of biggest obstacles as well to help get over, to help people get over it. It's like, that's okay that you're not good right now. You know, when a baby learns to walk and it stands up and it falls down, you don't say, okay, you're rubbish, sit down, don't try again. You say, okay, good job, nice try, get up, let's try one more time. And then you keep doing it until you can walk, and then until you can run. And then, you know, and I think people expect to just be really good at something. We're very impatient.
Oh, actually, I think you must have been a really good mom.
Oh, really? See, that's why I need mindfulness. That's why I need mindfulness, 100%. Oh my goodness. Now, you actually completed, you mentioned before, but you found the book when you were doing your PhD course, Search Inside Yourself. And so that led you on to actually go and complete the Google-born Search Inside Yourself Mindful Leadership Teacher Training or Instructor Training. So what was that like? I mean, were you the first Korean to actually go through that, and how has that helped you in the mindfulness market or the mindfulness industry in Korea?
Yeah, I'm the one of the first, because there were 2 Korean people in the program when I had it. Yeah, one of the first, and actually it really helped me to understand how we can apply mindfulness meditation to organizational settings, and how we can actually use the term. Like, there are so many terms, and as you said, it can sound a little bit religious, but through that course, through that program, I learned how we actually kind of change the terms more secular. Yeah, so and more than that, I found out, like, I have my own sangha, like this cohort and teachers. It was so great experience, and it helped me to kind of brand myself as a first generation of mindfulness meditation instructor for organizational setting. But nowadays, my interests actually a little bit changed. So I actually wanna be more close to public kind of Mabo users. Mabo, we don't really say that Mabo is for organizational people. It's more like for everyone.
Yeah.
The reason why is because I found out still in many Korean companies, they think that mindfulness meditation as a performance booster. Yeah. So it's really hard to communicate, right?
And the thing is, though, the difficult thing is, it can be a performance booster. That's the thing.
It can be. That's true. It's like a happiness that, as you mentioned, it's kind of side effect, right?
Yeah.
It's side effect.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it definitely can, because, I mean, when you feel better, you work better. It's as simple as that. When you feel better, you work better. And so, but using it solely for performance boosting is like a big problem. Absolutely. What do you think of the term K-wellness?
Mm. That's actually a really interesting question. Yeah. What do you think as someone who didn't born in Korea? Like, what do you think? Like, when you heard K wellness, what comes in your mind?
So it's a difficult question for me to answer as well because I've done so much research on it and I've got so like I ask so many people. So my opinion is constantly changing. And one of the things I love to do is chat with people whose opinions I don't agree with, and then chat with people whose opinions I do agree with, and then find all the things in between. And so I've got this kind of ever fluid opinion going on about what I think. But K wellness to me, the part of me really likes the term because it kind of goes into this K-dash culture, which is very, very popular at the moment. It's very obvious that it's talking about Korean wellness, and I like that. That's also the same reason I kind of don't like it so much. K wellness is like K-pop, K-food, K-culture. So it's a little gimmicky. But I think at the heart of K wellness, there's some really gorgeous fundamentals of what wellness really looks like in Korea. And I think part of that stems from the very much ingrained wellness culture here. So like going to the jjimjilbang, for example, going to the sauna, that is 100% a wellness content, but it is so much part of daily life here that Koreans just don't think of it as wellness, you know? And I think that's super cool, super beautiful. But I also love the other side of it, which is the very up-to-date modern side, the side that is perhaps influenced by Western culture a little bit. The side that is, like you mentioned earlier, very high tech. So, you know, tech wearables and that kind of stuff. And I think, yeah, I think it's an overarching term that doesn't really tell us much, but at the same time contains so much. That's my opinion. What do you think? What do you think about what I think?
Oh, that's actually really interesting. I haven't really thought like going to jjimjilbang can be a key wellness. But I totally agree. You're right. Yeah. Very interesting. Actually, in general, I feel like something K wellness, K-pop, K-culture, that kind of thing can be a little bit like how can I say? It can be a little bit like oh, we are Korean people, like this is kind of superior from other things. This is the best, something like that. Kind of patriotism. Yeah. So I actually tend to be really, really, really careful. But my actually husband, he's a Singaporean, and he actually kind of laughed at me because he told me that, oh, you actually told me that you don't like that, but when I'm here in Singapore, I'm super excited to kind of explain about Korean food, K-pop, K-drama, right?
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah. But when it comes to K-wellness, I think we need to be really careful because first, for most mindfulness meditation, even though we say that it's not religious, we cannot deny it, like it's from actually Buddhism. The root is in Buddhism, right? And Buddhism has been in really like in this like a culture in Asia, not only in Korea, right? And we also got transmitted from other countries. But very interestingly, Buddhism actually rooted in the culture in many other countries. Like Tibetan Buddhism is different from Korean Buddhism.
Yeah, sure.
Even Korean Buddhism and different from Japanese Buddhism.
Yeah, and we've got two, you know, main orders of Buddhism in Korea as well. So we've got two separate kind of, areas of Buddhism in Korea as well. So yeah, absolutely.
That's true. So I feel like we cannot really deny. So there are other kind of Buddhism, like other traditions. And I hope that K-wellness is looking for the way how we actually adopt this kind of whole concept to more stable for Korean people and our lifestyle. Yeah. And don't really kind of, how can I say, forcing other people in from other countries, because it's a little bit like sometimes I feel like we don't really respect much for other tradition. You know what I mean? Like I'm living
Mm.
kind of mumbling, I think, yeah.
No, I mean the thing is because I mean we're all different, but
Mm.
when you work in the field that you do, you see certain trends happening, and
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely something that, you know, if you as a Korean person, I mean I don't notice it, but as a Korean person, you obviously pick up on certain things. So that's interesting, really interesting that you say so. Really
Mm,
interesting.
okay.
And
Okay.
but I think for me, like K wellness also has to have something in it that is like traditionally Korean. So, for example, the lifestyle of Jimjilbang is important, but
Mm.
also we can, you know, we can enjoy yacht tours because we have this beautiful ocean everywhere. So, who's to say
Oh, I really envy you living in Busan. Wow.
so who, I mean, who's to say that K Wellness can't be a beautiful yacht tour around
Mm.
the, you know, the Gwangan Bridge or the Haeundae
Mm.
Beach? But I guess that
Mm.
falls more under the term of K Wellness tourism, and it would just
Mm.
be Korean wellness tourism, and
Mm.
kind of a bit separate from K Wellness itself. Have you seen any trends in, you know, either mindfulness industry or the wellness industry in general over the past few years?
Mm. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I always tell this to people like I have actually learned mindfulness meditation in the States.
Mm,
My teachers are in the States, and I actually saw how mindfulness meditation become a mainstream for the past 10 years
mm, mm-hmm,
there. Even the conference I'm actually organizing here, Wisdom 2.0,
mm-hmm,
it has started from San Francisco, Wisdom 2.0 San Francisco. And last year we have launched here, Wisdom 2.0 Korea. So for the last like 11 years, I saw how the conference has expanded,
mm,
right? So I certainly can say that in the States, mindfulness meditation become a really mainstream.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm telling is like here in Korea, I found out we are kind of 10 years behind. I told this like 2 years ago, and
mm-hmm.
now I feel like we are kind of 5 years behind.
Okay.
Okay, I can say that one thing about key wellness is maybe we are faster.
Yeah.
We are really fast. Yeah, right?
I would say so. And like with the tech, but not only with the tech side and the development side, but something, I don't know, June, do you do yoga classes in Korea? Do you take yoga classes
I'm taking, yeah, time to time. Yeah,
in Korea?
yeah,
So something that I
yeah.
find really funny is it depends on which class I go to. It really depends. But sometimes I go into like this little mini ashram type place, and it's very much focused on meditation, and the trainer's voice is very like
Mm,
this, and it's so relaxing. And you know, you get to have a good long savasana or shavasana after
mm,
your class. And
mm.
sometimes the yoga class finishes and the teacher says, okay, lie down, shavasana. And everyone rolls up their mat and puts their towel on. It's like, go, 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 go. Okay, I exercised. Now I'm leaving. So it's so fast.
So funny.
And
Right,
I've
right.
never experienced that anywhere else. Anywhere
Oh,
else.
that's so funny.
It's so
That's
funny,
so
right?
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, it's quite also interesting. Like many years ago, yoga was not that trendy in Korea, but now everyone says like I'm doing yoga,
Yeah.
right? So something is in trend. Like a Korean people really adopt it fast.
Mm. Yeah.
That's maybe key wellness, I think.
Yeah. We just do everything fast, so fast. And but
Really
the thing
fast.
is, I
Yeah.
mean, that's great though, because whatever, I mean, whatever the reason for people doing certain wellness activities, modalities, whether it's mindfulness, yoga, whether it's leisure on the ocean, if they're doing things that will, you know, fundamentally improve their health, their well-being, their physical, emotional, whatever it is, if it's
Mm-hmm.
improving their lifestyle, then
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, that can't be bad, surely,
Mm.
even if it is
Mm-mm-mm.
pali pali.
That's true. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. I don't know. You mentioned wisdom. I know that I didn't actually send you this question in advance, but you mentioned Wisdom 2.0. I'd love to know more about Wisdom 2.0 because this is last year was the first year you did it. And I know because of COVID-19, it was incredibly difficult, very challenging. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Wisdom 2.0 Korea and tell us what's happening this year?
Mm. Yeah, so Wisdom 2.0 started in San Francisco 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago. And it actually has a really interesting theme. It says like mindfulness meditation is not really only about like individual well-being. It's a kind of bigger thing. So it's about like how we live this modern era wisely
Mm-hmm.
and compassionate, right? So because it started from Silicon Valley, yeah. Um, Luckily, it could get attention from many tech companies around there. And the founder, Soren Gunther himself was a techie, really heavy techie. Even though he is a mindfulness meditation teacher, he used to be really techie. So his question was like one day he using tweet and like Facebook. He actually realized he got a little bit addicted to it, and he asked himself, is there any way I can use this more wisely? Yeah.
Mm.
And from that question, yeah, he actually gathered some group of people, and he had many like friends working for tech companies. So
Mm.
he could gather many people there, and it became a kind of meetup, and it became a conference, small conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back then, interestingly, many actually tech companies sponsored the conference because they were so curious, right? How it can be beneficial for people. They
Mm.
don't exploit people, right? So that actually conference became really bigger. And now before COVID-19, it was a kind of annual conference gathering more than 3,000 people from
Wow.
all around the world. And their theme became bigger, and not only technology, they are also talking about politics and social changes and environment, almost everything,
Mm.
right? And when I attended that conference for the first time, it was 2000, I think, 14. I got so shocked because like I was the one just sitting, and then next to me, we just like exchanged like our numbers and saying hello, like a Google employee and like a Facebook employee, like they are really keen to like see how like through what they are doing, how they can change the world, and they
Mm.
don't want to be really kind of evil. You know, the Google's like catchphrase, "Don't be evil," right? So I was really shocking that, oh, it's possible. Mindfulness meditation is not really only about like individual well-being. It's more like how we can flourish as human being in this era
Mm.
using this practice. So I had this aspiration, um, wanting to have Wisdom 2.0 in Korea. And last year it became kind of true. But sadly, as you know, COVID-19, ah, because of COVID-19, there were so many up and downs to organize the event. But
Yeah.
yeah, there were kind of around 500 people. We have that number as attendees, and we actually had really good feedback from participants.
Mm.
And this year we also plan to have that. So I also know that you are also organizing Busan Wellness International Conference,
Mm-hmm.
July, July, right?
July, yep, July 23rd to 25th this year.
Wow, you guys confirmed the date. We haven't. So I hope that like there is something that we can collaborate together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Mm.
I'm so excited to work with you. And we don't get enough chances, obviously. I mean, you're in Singapore just now, living it up anyway. But, you know, you're so busy and I'm so busy. And it's just so ironic that,
Right.
you know, we're out there trying to promote mindfulness and well-being and all of these different things, and we're just so incredibly busy. So I mean, I know personally, sometimes I'm not the best, but I do try and maintain my personal practice. How about you?
I mean, my actually husband, he's a kind of more serious practitioner than me, and the biggest common is meditation. So we try to have some time in the actually morning. Yeah, we try to block those time just to practice. Yeah,
that's important. I mean, what I do is I do yoga at night and I do meditation in the morning and listen to a lecture, and that's my bare minimum. But I just want to go on a retreat and sit for all day and meditate and do yoga and have therapies. Oh,
I know. I really miss that. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Someday soon. But
I wanna invite you. Actually, we just recently moved into Mabo Home, our meditation kind of center. Yeah.
Yes, congratulations, Mabo HQ.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mabo HQ. It's a really small house, but we have this small meditation hall, but big enough for you and I to yoga and meditate. So please drop by. When you come to Seoul, please, you're welcome.
I will. I'll go knocking on your door. Let me in.
Okay.
Jungin, I'm going to start wrapping up the interview. I've only got 2 other questions left, which one of them is any other comments. So you can just add that in whenever. But what are your future plans? I know you're in Singapore until the 25th, but after you come back, what are your plans for you, for Mabo, for Wisdom 2.0, and for generally taking over the world?
Future plan. Yeah. I mean, luckily, I think kind of 5 years ago, I had kind of journaling about my 5 years plan. And very interestingly, recently I found out I actually came through kind of most of the things. Yeah. So this year I wrote down saying that, okay, don't plan anything from now on. This is a kind of extra score, like just open to whatever it comes. That can be my future plan. But if I can set my aspiration is still there. Like I want to make mindfulness meditation more accessible to more people, especially in actually Korea, because I'm Korean. And the other thing is, if it allows, like maybe in 10 years, I hope that I want to do something that mindfulness meditation can be introduced to Korean students, like younger generations. Maybe, I want to do some kind of campaign that the Korean government take this mindfulness meditation as a subject of school. School subject. Yeah. That's kind of my aspiration.
Yeah.
I think the future generations really needs mindfulness meditation.
Especially students in Korea. It's a very difficult education system to be in.
I know.
It's interesting you said that. I just finished my Mindful Schools 2nd certificate, which
Wow, you did that.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So that's what I'm doing right now in my other work at the international school. I teach yoga and mindfulness, and so
that's so beautiful.
It's so wonderful to see these little souls, just little gorgeous souls, learning about how to have an anchor and why an anchor is important, and realizing that it's okay to feel scared and angry, and those emotions are big emotions, but we can ride the waves if we've got a little anchor to bring us back. And it's for me, they teach me so much. I feel like I'm the student when I'm with them, because it's just such a rewarding time. And so I think hopefully, whether it's me that does it in English speaking and you that does it in Korean speaking, but I think we definitely need to to bring it into the curriculums in Korea somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Also, English Marble.
Oh, okay. If you can help me,
Oh, sure.
it can be
I would love
possible.
to. But
Oh, thank you.
your voice is just so good. It's so good. So,
your voice too, please.
English Marble. That's
Okay.
what I'm just going to put a little hint of an aspiration in there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I would love it. Do you have anything else that you would like to add, that you would like to say, or any information about where we can find out more about you and, of course, about Mabo and Wisdom 2.0? Just kind of final comments to wrap up the interview.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you for setting up this kind of things. I mean, I think it's quite rare that you are working for Korean wellness. Yeah, right. So I think Korean people are lucky to have you here. Yeah. And I may ask you to come over for actually our conference, Wisdom 2.0 Korea, as a speaker too. So yeah, I mean, again, really thank you, Laura. Yeah.
Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure. And it's something that I'm doing. Again, it comes from a place that has been a necessity for me. And then you obviously see that other people need, like you with Mabo, you just realize, wait a minute, people really can use this. So yeah, for me, it's about being able to share something that has really profoundly impacted and helped me. And I want to be able to create a community here that feels safe to feel not okay, and to help each other through difficult situations, and to find tools that can, help us navigate the troubles that we face in life. I mean, because we all face troubles. We all face troubles, right. But we don't always share that we face them. Where can we find you? Where can we find Mabo? How can we download your app?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can just find us in your, if you use Android phones, just Google Play, iOS, Apple phone, just iOS App Store. And even, you can just Google Mabo, you can find our app. Or if you're interested in Wisdom 2.0 Korea, you can type in Wisdom 2.0 Korea, either in English, either in Korean. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. And yeah, I'm happy to help you, whoever watching this video. Oh, by the way, we also have YouTube channel, so you can find us like a Mabo TV. Yeah, it's free. So YouTube channel is completely free, so you can actually watch us there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dungin. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you, and I'm really looking forward to the next time we chat. And I will definitely take you up on the offer to come and sit in Mabo HQ and meditate and drink tea and all the fun stuff. I'm going to let you go, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time in Singapore, and we'll see you when you get back to the land of the morning calm. 진짜 고맙습니다. 조심히 들어가세요. 고맙습니다.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.